applicator at BRIC, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do pixelation. It's something that you can do really easily at home, and all you need are these things that you can easily find in your house. There's just about 4 things that I have, plus you'll need a phone. So first I have M&Ms. You can also use beads, marbles, or colorful objects, and if you don't have that, you can cut out little pieces of paper or use colorful office supplies. Pretty much anything. Then I have a selfie stick, which I'm going to use to stabilize my phone, and a water bottle. If you don't have this, you can also use your phone propped up on the edge of a table. Works fine. You just need a way for your phone to stay still and look down at the surface that you're going to animate on. And then I needed a background, so I didn't have any paper, so I found this box and I opened the box up and I have a white background. I didn't have any printer paper, but this will do. And the app that we're going to be using today is called iStopMotion. There are other softwares that you can download for free. iStop costs $9.99. It's pretty worth it, I would say. If you want to splurge, it's pretty easy to use. Anyone in the family can use it, but if you want to, you can definitely find free apps as well. So let's go. So now I'm going to show you my setup. I've changed a few things. Earlier I said you could use any flat surface. I was able to find a sheet of paper, which I'm actually going to use now. But if you don't have plain white paper, you can use anything that's a solid background. Earlier I showed you a white box. You can cut off the corners and have a flat surface. You want to make sure that it's a plain background that's a solid color so that you can see the colors on top of it. So in this case I'm going to use white, but just keep in mind the contrast between the colors that you're using and the background that you have. And then here is my setup for how I'm going to record the animation. So I've downloaded the app on my phone. I found a little bit narrower of a vase that lets me stand up my selfie stick so that my phone is propped up and looking down at the surface. I have a good height right there, and I adjusted it pretty tight. If you don't have anything like this, like you don't have a selfie stick at home, you can prop up some books or, use a small shelf, weights, anything that can put your phone just a little bit higher than what you're animating on so that you can look down and your phone is stabilized. I put a weight on the vase so that it does not move, and I have just a little bit more stabilization because I am touching the phone. And then I have the M&Ms right here, which I'm going to use to animate. But again, you can use marbles, cutout paper, paper clips, anything that you have that's small that you can move around. So let's begin. So once you've downloaded your app, you're going to see a screen like this. And to start a new project, you're going to simply hit the plus sign and you'll get a new project. You can go to the controls at the top and choose back camera. So it's facing the camera looking down. So this is my surface that I'm going to be using to animate on. I found a piece of white paper and I have the M&Ms right here. So for the settings for this app, you have exposure, white balance. You're not going to need those for now. The focus is automatic. So you're just going to tap the screen with your thumb to set the focus. So once I have it on my back camera, another setting that you might want to change is the frames per second. Now to think about this, think about photos versus video. Video/movies is basically a string of photos put together per second, right? So 12 frames per second, that's 12 separate still images that it's going to take you to animate 1 second of animation. If you want to go lower, you're going to hit the negative sign. I would suggest doing 10 just to start with, but the higher you go, 12, 15,
and up, it's going to take you longer because you're going to need more images, but it'll be a smoother video because it'll be a seamless transition between the stills. Grid lines, you won't really need. Play to half speed is if you want to slow down your animation. So if you want to set it to a higher ratio of frames per second and then play it at half speed to make it a longer video, you can do that. And that's all you need to do. So I'm gonna set mine for 12. I have it adjusted to the back camera and I have my surface set and we're ready to begin. So now I have my setup and I'm ready to go. This is the frame that you'll see. And quite simply, the only things that you're gonna be using to record is this black dot on the right-hand side. So every time I'm taking an image, I hit that once. I took my first image, so I have a one white plain backdrop right here, and I'm ready to start. So for this animation, my idea was basically to have the M&Ms peek through, and for the M&Ms to jump out, and to move around. So what I'm gonna do is slowly record the movement a frame at a time. So right now I can see that I don't see the M&Ms in the frame, right? I took my first image and then boom, I see it right there in the corner. I'm gonna take a second image. I'm gonna move it just a little bit, take another image, keep moving it, another image, move it a little bit more, take another image. Right now I have 5. I'm gonna keep going and I'm actually gonna make this packet twirl. So I moved it a little bit more and I'm gonna start rotating it. The more movements that you do, the more seamless the video is gonna be. Now I have the package that's moved around and I'm gonna put it back into the corner. So I'm gonna slide it back. Ooh. Remember, smaller movements. And then boom, it's in the side of the frame. And I think right now I have about 36 frames. So just to show you what that looks like, I'm gonna hit the play button. And there you go. So I like the way that looks and I'm ready to keep going. Make sure when you play it that you're always on the last frame to continue. You can also see an outline of where your last image was if you want to line up what you're pixelating and animating with that last frame. So I have it back where my last frame was, and now the idea was basically to have the M&Ms come out of the bag on their own. So I'm gonna rip this piece back and take an image of it ripping back. And then I'm gonna start laying down the M&Ms one by one. So I'm gonna line them up. I'm gonna use blue because why not? Actually, no, I'm gonna use a variety of colors. So I have a few that are sticking out and I'm gonna take a frame for each. Oops. So you can always line if you lose your spot with the last frame. I have one blue and one orange. I'm going to take another image, push this up. Now I have 3. You can line them up with your last frame. Take another image. I'm going to move all of them. And then keep going. Also, if you do make a mistake, say this moved. Basically, you just go to this wrench symbol and you can delete frame. Make sure you don't delete all frames because then your project will be deleted. So you can just delete the last frame. I'm going to delete last frame and then go back and correct. All right, so now I've finished my animation and I want to show you what I did. I'm going to hit this play button, and there you go. I have about 6 seconds of animation, so let's do the math. If I did 12 frames per second and I have 6 seconds of animation. That is 72 frames. So I took 72 images to get 6 seconds of animation. I think it looks pretty cool. All right, so now I want to export my video. I'm gonna go back to my menu, hit the gallery, and you'll see that. You'll see the arrow in the corner, and I want to share that. So this gives me the option of exporting as a movie, which I want to do. And there you can save the video to your phone. You can email it, message it. Technology is great. You can do pretty much everything. I'm going to save it. It's going to render. And I'm just going to check that it's there. So I'm going to go to my photos. And there you go. It's saved on my phone, and you can do a bunch of animation and string them together. The cool thing about stop motion, iStop, is it also lets you edit within. You can add music if you want, and basically go to your library or record your own music. You can do a lot of fun stuff. So I hope this gives you some ideas. I hope you can get creative and have lots of fun.